more than is logical to do. And last night at 7 o'clock, I was tutoring 2 kids. Our kids, I'm sort of an anomaly because I have one class, I teach 2 classes of French 2. They are pre-IB French 2, but last semester I taught a regular class of French 1. So I live where it is. But with the last night, 2 kids, I said, yeah, we'll tutor at 7 o'clock. And the night before, I did an extended essay mentor Google at 9 o'clock. And so, and truly with my French 1 class last semester, I get it in terms of how hard it is to teach kids that don't care. My French 1 class had grades 9 through 12 in it. It had kids that didn't care. I had not had but 1 failure in 48 years, and I had 4 last semester. But I met with a kid on Saturday, and his mother started out wanting to be a little antagonistic, and I tutored him for an hour. I knew she was probably in the background, and she was. And at the end, she just said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I said, okay, you know, I've given your son 2 tests, and he did well because he was paying attention. Do you want me to meet with him on Sunday afternoon? And I did. And the boy ended up passing. But it's that when I say connecting, I had some questionable kids that were not very nice in that class. And I have 2 kids right now. I recorded today because it's like one girl said to me, you know, I'm not going to be here for the next week. Her name is Nehemiah, and she's not like Nehemiah in the Bible. I asked her why her daddy and mama named her Nehemiah, but she didn't know. And I said, I'll be happy to record so you can stay along with us. But in terms of connecting, one of the things that and this all fits with how do you get administrators to support you. And one is my French Honor Society is probably the most positive thing I've done all year. I tend to try to listen to kids. And so in August, I said, when do y'all want to meet? And many of them are virtual. But my own kids, in terms of my pre-IB French 2 class, I have 16 real live kids in class and 10 at home. And so I'm teaching to the computer, but we played baseball today in class. And so I used my whiteboard behind me to draw a baseball diamond and, you know, had them playing against each other. But the French Honor Society, for me, has always been a tool that I think administrators appreciate, because parents appreciate, because kids appreciate. And this year in particular has made them more human, truly. So they said every other Friday afternoon, we, with French Honor Society, have played Kahoot, but I didn't do it. I didn't put it together. The officers did. We've had a French spelling bee. I have a dear French girl who's a freshman in college. She's French in France, and I've known her daddy since he was 3, and he came and stayed with my family when he was 16 and when he was 17, and now this girl came when she was 17 and has visited Douglas County High School. So she was one of my Google visitors that I just invited. She came, and so that French Honor Society has been, and to tell you how well it works. Okay, right now, and so in terms of connecting with them, y'all know that Flag March 27th is virtual this year. You don't have to pay, and you can have unlimited number of kids. I teach only 2 classes, and I have 25 kids that are going to participate in Flag. And so, but that's something for them to be proud. Their parents will know, but they don't have to drive to Gwinnett County. They will do it from their living room. And we will laud the school, letting them know this is the State Foreign Language Association of Georgia's oral contest. And so it's the connecting for their sake, but it's also connecting so parents know and kids know and the administrators know. As I connect with them, one of the things that Shannon has heard me say, always with French 2 and above, I have them write in a journal. And I take the journal up every week, but they talk to me in the journal about things that are bothering them. It's very connected to curriculum. I mean, right now, we've just done some passé composé, and so they've talked about it. And right now, as we're doing clothing, and so I won't go into a whole lot with journal, except it's a way for me to connect with kids. And the more they connect with you, they let their administrators know that they appreciate you. And I would, so in the connecting part, and then I think also with your administrators that you want to love making a difference. You want to love your kids, and you want to love making a difference for your school and for your kids. And so when I say love making a difference, as a person that's taught forever, I volunteer. I don't volunteer for everything. I'm a little selective. It has to be something I want to do and something I believe in. And so for me, one of the things I've been doing for 40 years is governor's honors. And when I left Douglas County for a year and I went back to Cobb County, and then I really wanted to be back at my school. And so I volunteered from before I even came back. I'll do governor's honors again. The year before, when I wasn't here, it had been a mess, terrible. And so when I came back, and we had 8 kids from our school that made it to go. Of course, it was canceled for the summer, but we had 8 winners. And so, and the year before that had 1. And so, yeah, Madam Barnes, thank you. And so what are they? There are many things I can't do, but I know pretty well what I can do. And so to volunteer for those things. Another thing that I believe in is International Skills Diploma Seal. I think it's special. And we've gotten Douglas County High School, blue collar school that it is, and often called the hood school. We are a minority school, and we are number 2 in the state in terms of the number of kids that earn the International Skill Diploma Seal. Why? IB helps a lot. And it also helps to be, y'all are the key. It's not a social studies teacher. It's not a counselor. If you're not in charge, it's not going to happen.
I think that, Corinne, we're actually, y'all raise your hands. I think most of us don't offer ISDS. Raise your hand if you do offer it in your school right now. that was one of the themes from our first meeting, was that most of us in rural or small districts don't have ISD. So we're going to work on like
You know
group
what?
applications.
Guess what? I will come back to you another time and we'll do it on ISDS because this is year 5 from the state.
Mhm.
And as long as I was, and as an, but the good thing for me is I've always lived in 2 worlds. As a teacher, invested in the school and at the county level. And so with ISDS, there is an application. It's not hard. You can't offer it unless you have done the application. And then Patrick Wallace, and he's a great guy at the state, and he would love to have some more small schools. And it's a real little star in a principal's cap because it gives him recognition that y'all go on the list as for the state as a school that has been approved. It really is so easy to be approved. I can do it for you. And then I have okay, no problem. I'm talking fast. Voila. But so ISDS, and then the biliteracy seal. The biliteracy seal is a little harder to earn because it's based on the kid has to have a 4 on the AP exam or a 5 on the IB foreign language exam. We tend to, at Douglas County High School, we're kind of crazy because we have about 40 kids that earn it every year. And I mean, I don't say that to our county because each other school has about 1 or 2. But it has nothing to do with AP or IB. It does, but it only does in that they've got to take the test. And so it is an AP score that there are some other tests that kids can take, but they're really harder than AP. So the ISDS will give you just as much clout as the biliteracy because people don't really understand the difference.
Well, and that was another issue that we all noticed was, enrollment is huge for us. We have a lot of kids that top out at 2. So hoping to do biliteracy, meaning getting kids in level 3, potentially level 4 and AP, that
But
is
you know what? They don't have to have biliteracy for level 3.
right.
ISDS is your answer because they've got to have 3 years in high school of the same language in order to earn ISDS. And so, and the middle school does not count for ISDS. It is only because ISDS is analogous to any pathway. And so it is the courses that they take in high school. And and now Patrick has actually made it all more flexible. So we'll talk some more because you could apply this year for next year or either next year for next year. But it's just one more way of loving to make a difference that is appreciated by principals. And I would tell you the other thing in terms of building impactful relationships with administrators is doing what you're doing right now. You're having worked with Shannon to come up with a way to keep learning together because your professional learning that's within your school is not particularly helpful often because it's too general. But if you can, I would think, what you may be able to do. Okay, There's all kinds of rigidity about PLCs, professional learning communities. What we've done is our administrator so believes in what we're doing that our county professional learning course that I teach for high school foreign language counts as our PLC. So we don't have to meet on a rigid kind of basis that doesn't help us. And I would think that ultimately what y'all are doing, it is a professional learning community. It's the best. And so for you to keep learning. And then the next thing I would tell you is to connect, just as you're doing right now, to connect with each other and to connect at your school level also. I think when I say connect, flag this year is pretty easy. It's the 18th. It's not this coming weekend. It's not this weekend or the next weekend, but it's the next weekend. And so you don't have to go anywhere. You just connect online. And so the flag contest that I alluded to a few minutes ago, every one of you should get at least one kid. All you have to do is you've got to be a member of Flag. And then Patrick Wallace has sent out the information. Now, see, I make it easy for kids. I didn't say, kid, you go online and sign up. I said, no, who would like, and we didn't do West Metro last year because of COVID. But my 10th graders did West Metro as 8th graders, and my 9th graders did it as 7th graders from the county, because our West Metro is for middle school and high school. And so I've said Flag is just a bigger version, and we're going to practice in our Google Classroom. And West Metro is similar to Flag. The difference, Flag has been so rigid in the past. Originally for Flag, for the Foreign Language Association of Georgia, you could only have 2 kids per school, per level, that could participate. And it was $8 a kid. Last year, it was canceled, but it was canceled. It was supposed to be the 15th, the day that school got out, and for COVID. And so then it was $10 a person, and it had gone up to 3 kids per level. So that meant when we have 10 classes of French 2, there could only be 3 kids from the whole school. So that's the reason I started West Metro, because your numbers were not as limited. But it still sends a great message. And this year, there's no limit. So all you do is go online to Foreign Language Association of Georgia, and you look at Flag Contest. It is, and let me just tell you when it is. It is March 27th. And I'm going to write it down and hold it up. And as you go on in Patrick's email, it says that you can just click right here. Well, I knew, honestly, that even my French Honor Society, that I would probably have 4 kids that would take the time to click. There's not much to fill out. It's their name, it's their school, it's who their teacher is. The teacher has to be a member of Flag. And it is their email address. So what I said to my kids is on a homework assignment, they gave me, actually it was in the journal. In the journal, they gave me their email address. And one of the questions was, do you want to participate in Flag? Oui ou non? And to give me their personal email address, because it wouldn't work from flag if you've got a school email, because it doesn't matter if y'all are Google. It's just like I'm Google, but I couldn't get into your Google because your Google is private from my Google. So you've got to have, so what I did, and I'll do this weekend, is I really had 25 of them say they want to do it. So we'll practice. And what that does, the kid says, I'm so smart. The parent says, oh, they're participating in a state contest. The administration says, my goodness, my teacher is going beyond. So I will sign them up. It'll probably take me an hour because I'll have to put all that information in for all 25 of them, but it's quick. I mean, it's nothing important, just name, school, my name, and their email. So it is giving them a connection. And the other big deal is not just connecting with flag, not just connecting across your counties, but connect within your school and help out. Whether it is when we, recently the assistant principal said, would anybody like to volunteer for giving input for the schedule for next year? That does affect me, and I believe in it. And so I sent him an email real quick. I'll be glad to help. Now, there's some things I'm not going to work the gate. We, have football, we have soccer, all that. No, that's not my thing. They don't need me. Somebody else can do that. But things that I think are important, I am going to volunteer for. And with our department, we have 10 people in our department. But remember, we're the hood, and we are majority minority, and we are also, we're not a Title I school, but we could be according to criteria. And so this morning, one of our teachers' birthday is Monday. Well, I have a conflict Monday. And so I brought her a cake from the department. I buy a little card and I pass it around to the department for everybody's birthday. And so they get a card from all of us. And I send an email that says, remember, Whitney's birthday is Monday. Don't forget to go by and see her. Now, when we were not COVID controlled, I would go, and I had a little more flexibility. I went to the Mexican restaurant and I would get food the night before and we ate lunch together. Well, of course, we can't eat lunch together anymore. We have been, our school has had very little COVID. We have had very few teachers out, and it's mainly athletes that have been out. And we love our principal. He kind of gives you heart and soul. And so we don't hang together. We really do wear our masks, and we're careful. But we have 2 pregnant foreign language teachers right now. So 2 weeks from now on Saturday, we're doing a drive-by shower at my house. And last night, I had my husband making these boxes to decorate my carport with. So it is celebrating life and birthdays. And it is supporting. It's supporting each other so the administration doesn't just love one of you, but loves you all. Because you're stronger when you're a united kind of voice. And sometimes you're going to have a link that's weak. We did that last year. We really do. We help each other with subbing, because as of just yesterday, We got an email yesterday afternoon saying no more subs, that you will have to, we have 4 subs allocated for the building, but if you just are taking a personal day or you have a stomach ache, too bad. Your department's going to take care of you. And so that makes it really different, because in the past, if you were sick, you could teach from home and have your kids virtual. But I've got 16 kids in my class and 10 online. If they're in somebody, if you got to split them up unless you can figure somebody that's got planning, who Whitney volunteered to have my class one period. You know, it's doing for each other very sincerely. And of course, it helps a whole lot when nobody is a taker and everybody's a giver. And I think it's hard when there's somebody that is wanting everybody to do for them. But generally, if you do for other people, they want to do for you back. A simple thing to do and to make it a habit is to thank your administrators. When they do, they don't get thanked very much for anything. When they when they give you an extra little special jeans day, or if they are just trying to be supportive, to just send them an email. And several people in my department do that. We're known as the nicest department. And so, yes, Shannon is saying invite them. That's really true. Of course, they got to come. They've got to evaluate you. But yes, that you feel comfortable with them coming. Connect with parents. And because if parents are mad at you, then they fuss at the administrator and they fuss about you. And certainly there's some difficult parents. In the fall, I had several kids that were cheating. It drove me crazy because I've never had that as a problem, because you could walk around and see what they were doing, but you can't see online. And I had kids in my regular French 1 class who established a private chat, and their private chat during a quiz. But it's great. I could tell they had the same bizarre wrong answers. And so, I did call the principal on the weekend. I texted him to say I was really concerned. But then I tried to come up with a solution. And I did. I found out who some of the kids were. And so on Monday, without any announcement, I said, we're taking a different quiz on the same information, because we'd done it on Friday, and I had, with some help, figured out, how I could get in and see what they were writing. I couldn't really see everything. I couldn't see what they might be looking at over in the corner, but I bluffed it so that they were scared to cheat. And I said, I know some of you did not cheat at all. I'm so proud of you and so appreciative. And so this isn't going to hurt you, because you're going to do just as well as you did the first time. And I had my cheaters failed, but they didn't really try. Again, I had to be on top of it, but that the trying to be direct, but trying to solve the problem, because administrators don't want us to come to them with all of our problems. I let them know what's happening, and they want to know what's happening, but to try to solve my own problems. Even in terms of, and when I say own problems, okay, I have 2 teachers that are out Monday, and I went to see, just before we started, the secretary in charge of subs. And I said, I've got it covered. And she said, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't know how much that means. That just one person to take care of 2 other people. And I can't do it by myself. It's the department. But she talks about how helpful we are as a department. All of this, I'm not saying that, the French word maligne, sneaky, but I am a little maligne, because it's when you make things easier for somebody else, it's harder for them to not support you, because they want your continued support. And the result actually has been that when there have been discussions of cutting, like anytime there is a financial question, foreign language is vulnerable. But at Douglas County High School, we've not been. And it's crazy. It's only because we're not a problem. Parents like us, kids like us, and we have really good results that are measurable. And they're measurable because we nearly always have a winner for governor's honors. We have more ISDS. We have this, and we'll talk a minute about West Metro. And so they know there are good things happening. And we build for the future. It's crazy. In our department of 10, 3 of the people I taught. And now one of them I taught in 1993, but 2 of them I've taught in the last 10 years at Douglas County High School. And so as you build kids' success enough that they go on and major in foreign language, and then there are other people in the county that were Douglas County High School kids, and they just are at other high schools now. So when you build successful kids who love foreign language, and then they come back, they do it exactly the same way you did it. So you're building kids that are extremely positive, and truly, our principal knew these 2. We have 2 new teachers this year that were both IB kids. They both teach Spanish, but they took French too, because they were those double kids. They are, one's a native speaker, one's not. But when I mentioned they're coming back, the principals were thrilled. Yes, can you get them? And so it's not just you're building, but you're being involved in that hiring process. Because when you hire somebody that doesn't care, and I mean, all my stories are not positive. We had a guy last year who I covered his class a bunch, Spanish, and I would almost physically get sick when I would walk into his class. Total chaos. He didn't care about his kids. They didn't learn, and I knew it. He was only here 1 year, but he was here 1 year. And so it is trying to be sure you get good teachers. And we've even been supported with money. I mean, recently the principal came up to one of the French teachers and said, do you need anything? I have some money that I didn't know I was going to have. I'll be glad to buy you something. I need to spend it. You need to let me know fast. And so that idea of, okay, y'all are responsible. You're not going to waste my money, and you'll get me the information that I need quickly. And of course, I sent him the information, and he said, now what? I don't know if I understand this. And I said, well, I'll be glad to do a dummy purchase order. But as we, and I think the other thing is, this is hard. What we're doing this year is, in 49 years, is the hardest I've ever done. And Shannon knows I'm not techie. My kids don't know it too much though. And that's the amazing part, because I've learned what I have to do. Now, I don't necessarily love it, but I mean, I'm going to work until I've got it set, and so that it looks like I know what I'm doing. And there may be times that it messes up and that I don't fall apart, that I learn how I click to get to something that will keep us going. But so to know that really there are going to be those bad days, and there are going to be those bad kids, and it makes you sad. And there are going to be times that your teaching friends are not doing what you wish they were doing also. But that you've got to know there's strength beyond yourself, first of all. And you've got to have time for yourself to be inspired and to have some quiet time. And that then there's a very pragmatic piece of being positive that I learned probably about 1983. And it was that I had a kid. Her name was Peggy Sung. I know you don't know Peggy Sung, but I remember her name. And she was a very good French student, and it'd been great. She was in French 3, and she decided she didn't like me, and she wanted to be as nasty to me as she could be. And so I tried to cajole and work with her, and I was not successful. And so I thought, okay, how do I handle this? And I thought, I've got 20 other kids in this class that are great. I got to focus on those kids. And I've got to almost box her out of my vision. And so I've tried to fix, and it's weighing on me, and I'm feeling frustrated. I'm going to focus on the good kids. And because there was something going on in her head that the more I tried to be positive or direct with her, the uglier she became. So I essentially did her independent study. I had her work set out for her. She could do it, and she did. And I will tell you a happy story. As the semester went along, she was not negative anymore. She was not nice, but she was not impacting the other kids. And about 15 years later, she sent me a Christmas card thanking me for what I had done. But so there are going to be some, but with that girl, and she really ripped my heart, because it made me feel bad. It made me feel unsuccessful. And there was a Saturday morning, and I say this, and it affects administrators too. They know when you're positive and when you try everything you can with your kids. And so there was a Saturday morning, and I knew I was asking myself the question, okay, does this mean I should block and encapsulate myself so I'm never hurt by another kid? And I consciously said no. There will be some other kids that hurt my feelings and that I feel unsuccessful and defeated by. But there are going to be hundreds of kids, and it is really true. I mean, the stories I could tell you of kids in an airport in San Francisco 2 summers ago coming up to me and saying, "You're Madam Barnes." Last spring at the grocery store at 9:00 at night in the parking lot, a kid that was doing the grocery shopping for somebody said, "Madam Barnes," and I remembered she'd gotten pregnant in my class. I mean, not she didn't get pregnant in my class, but when she was in my class, she became pregnant and I bought diapers for her. I mean, those kind of things are what enable your administrators to want to do everything they can for you and to not want you to leave. And as a matter of fact, but I question myself at times because I'm a half-time teacher. I'm 49% because at year 40, you are losing money. If you go to year 40, you are at year 40 when I should have retired, then I got 80% pay. But I went on to year 43. So for 3 years, I really lost a bunch of money because now, honestly, I earn 1.5 times my salary for teaching half time because I've taught 40 years. So that means I get 80% of my highest 2 years. And when I was full time, they were taken out for VALIC, they were taken out for retirement. So my take home is higher than it was when I was full time, but then I get another half of my salary in addition. So for you to know that as it is important what you realize is the situation. But as a 49% person, you are not guaranteed a position at all. You are low man on the totem pole. Doesn't matter who you are or how many years you've taught or how sweet you are. And so last Friday, I started thinking, they might not need me next year. They might not be able to fit me into the allotment. And, they may just be waiting to tell me goodbye. And so I asked the assistant principal, who's my friend, and he said, well, let me just be sure. I'll ask the principal. And the principal said, if I thought Corinne were going to leave, I would lock her in a closet and keep her. I would kidnap her and lock her in a closet. And so this is the same guy that 20 years ago said, you don't really teach. You really you're an administrator. He had no value for what I did. And so this is 23 years later. So I tell you that you have the power. It's a county office person does not, even though y'all may not. If you had a county office person, they would probably be a problem for you because they wouldn't know what you were doing. And so they wouldn't be able to support you the way you need to be supported. So you support each other and you say thank you. And of course, we miss Shannon so much because she had an incredible impact as a middle school person and then as a high school person. But you help each other. So you can win not every principal, but most principals over by loving your kids, by loving to make a difference, by being willing to be involved in the school as a whole, by trying to take care of your problems, by connecting and supporting each other within your school, within the county, across the counties, and with the state. And so, and with your professional organizations like AATF too. But FLAG is kind of the easiest and the most approachable. And you kind of get more for your money that way because they do things for us too.
They do. Thank you, Corinne, so much for all of your positivity.
Well, I'm delighted to meet you all, and I was gonna, when we come again, I actually had some little slides. I'll show you the next time, And I'll be glad to really work with you on the ISDS. The application is on the web, but you have to apply. But Shannon was right when she said y'all can do it together, but you have to turn it in separately, because even when I was the county foreign language coordinator, you can't do it for every school. It becomes an individual school, and therefore it's a better little star in your principal's crown.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's we are going to do a couple of housekeeping things. We'll let you get off.
Yeah.
No, no, fine. Thank you so much.
C'est mon plaisir. Au revoir. Au revoir.
Oh no, don't leave. You don't have to leave. I was just saying.
No, ça va. Because actually, one of the things I talked about balance is Shannon is a rower and I'm a swimmer, and I'm about to go swim and then get in the car and drive to Alabama.
Thank you again, Corinne. That was lovely. We really appreciate you being here. Ladies, I just want to make sure I share something, because we do have a couple things I just want to chat about real quick before we leave. I mentioned earlier, can you guys see this screen? Right, there's Corinne. Oops, I showed you everything. So we have a teacher who is leaving from Coweta County to go down to Seminole, and she's really curious about curriculum. And I know Abby said she's using Somos and really loving it. And I think that this teacher, her name's Maria as well, she's going to be the only Spanish teacher, I think, in the whole school, if not county. So she wanted to sort of like pick brains about what's working, what's not working, and that sort of situation. So I don't know if Maria or Liz, if you guys have any like curriculum ideas for a Spanish teacher?
I really love Jalen Waltman's Complete Lesson Plan book, and I'd be glad to share with her some sample stuff. She's got like it's depending on what Seminole County's got. Like I started teaching at a county that had zero to resource wise, and so everything was just me, and I've got some stuff I'd be glad to share with her.
Okay, if y'all, I was going to say, Abby and Liz and Maria, if you're willing, can I just tie you guys into an email with her and just say, y'all just chat? And because I obviously know nothing about Spanish curriculum, but she's really excited that she's going to be a part of our group when she sort of gets more established. But I told her I would look into that and ask you guys about it. The other thing is, so our next meeting is Monday, March 22nd. And one of the things we talked about, or that someone brought up they wanted to learn about, was the free voluntary reading. So Rebecca Sunberg is actually also in Douglas County. She's one of my dearest, dearest friends. That's the thing that Corinne didn't really touch on. You might have picked up, but she's really good at building communities. And I've been gone for like 4 years from Douglas County. But to this day, the lady I taught with at the middle school, and then Rebecca, who I taught with at the high school, we have a daily conversation. Like, because of really strong connections professionally, we're like a trio of best friends. So Corinne does a really good job and doesn't brag on that part, but she's really good at that stuff. So anyways, Rebecca's going to talk us through, and she'll be very, very self-deprecating, but she does a fantastic job with free voluntary reading. So she's going to talk to us about that if you guys are free and available to come to that. The other thing is Abby's going to talk to us in April about station rotation, because I think all of us kind of went, woo, woo, we don't do that. What are you talking about, Abby? We want to know more. So Abby's going to be with us on April 1st. But on April 15th, there's a free spot. So if you have somebody, number one, that you want to maybe invite to come talk to us, let me know. If you have something you want to share with the group, if you want it to be a chat session, I also, worst comes to worst, I can talk to you guys about the everyday IPA thing that I do. If you're going to be at Scolt this year, I'm talking about it then too. So we can fill something, but I want it to be a place where you guys aren't just sitting here listening to me, right? Like, I'm boring. So if you know of anybody that you want to reach out to, or ideas, or just topics, I can like crowdsource some videos and we can do like a jam session, whatever. We have an opening on April 15th, so let me know. Also, thoughts for summer. I don't know what you guys are going to feel like doing over the summer, but like Corinne was just saying, and I have been pushing so hard at this school, that ISDS is so powerful. I mean, it is. I got so many more kids. I did this at the last school I was at. I applied 1 year. We had 3 kids. The second year we had 9 kids. And then last year, in the midst of COVID, we had 12 kids earn it. So over the course of that many years, it really can grow, you know. And for me, I came in, there was no French program. Most of the kids that got ISDS stuck with me for like 3 years of French. So it's huge for enrollment. It's huge for validation in your community. It's huge for connecting kids to, what am I going to do with this foreign language? So personally, I think it would be great to sort of sit and work on how to talk to administrators. The problem at my district is we can't do something that the other high school is not. So since September, our county office has had my application on their desk and done nothing with it. So like maybe some strategizing, because the due dates are generally like in September and in May. Are you guys on block schedule? Anybody on block? Everybody's on block. Ooh, exciting. So you have 2 rounds of the year where you can apply. And I mean, as soon as it happens, you can just start getting kids earning that thing. Most of the requirements they do as part of graduation, it's very minimal. It's very much along the lines of like the fine arts diploma seal. It's just a matter of getting all the paperwork submitted and starting it. So that would be something that I think would be a good idea for the summer. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but please still be thinking, because I want to get us some stuff planned if anyone wants it. Last thing, Google Classroom. Oh, look, 2 things popped up at once. I know Abby and I are working on that. Val is already in, I think. Liz, did you get in the Google Classroom okay? Yes. Maria, did I get you in there? Maria's typing.
I did contact the tech guy at our school, and he said he's going to pass it along to our tech director.
Okay.
If I would have just jumped on with Val, if I had known she had already jumped on it, she went right to the source where I didn't. And if I had known that, I should have just gone right to the source in the beginning. So
wait,
they said they're working on that, though.
Are you in the same district?
Yes.
Oh, then you should be fine. I can add you.
Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And so it looks really plain in there right now, and you're all teachers on there. It's like a share space. So if you've got cool stuff, start populating it. You know, like don't ask permission. If you want to ask questions, crowdsource stuff, that's kind of what it's there for. So play away. The other thing is there's a free flag session. I know you guys are probably burnt out on sitting in front of a computer today, but tonight, if you're interested, Bertha Delgadillo is coming to talk. Have you guys done any of those flag sessions? Meredith is doing a ton of these. Like there was one last night actually and one tonight. So if you can't sit and watch any more of the screen, she's got a great playlist. You can just check it out you can watch all of the recordings on YouTube. The last thing was the flag spoken contest. Oh, look, I totally messed up my slideshow. That Corinne was talking about. It's at the end of the month. It's free. It's no fees. So it's a great thing to engage your kids in something statewide, like Corinne was saying, although I'm a little bit nervous about it here, not gonna lie. The other thing is, let me pull this up, because we can't do official PLUs. I just want to send you guys this link over there. If you want some sort of certificate of participation for tonight, like I have to document everything that I do in TEKS. Like the more I can put in there, the better I look. If you fill that document out, you'll get a personalized little participation thing for each session. So if you need that documentation, click the link and you'll have it almost immediately in your inbox within 5 minutes probably. So super fast, just saw we ran a little bit over. Anything for the good of the group before we go? You guys got questions, issues you want to bring up, stuff to talk about? Thank you for coming, by the way. I know you guys are probably exhausted. I'm tired myself. I know, we're all tired.
I was just, real quick question. Liz, you look familiar. Your name looks familiar. I came in like in the middle of it. Where are you? What kind of county are you at?
I'm in Tift County.
I don't know why you look so familiar. I don't know.
I don't know if any of y'all have done stuff with Dr. Barry at Auburn. I just survived Dr. Barry's master program at Auburn, and I feel like I've seen a lot of people that is, listen, highly recommended.
Well, but congratulations. So you just finished a master's program? Mm-hmm. Exciting. Congratulations. I'm glad now you have time again, right?
Listen, it's like I graduated and then we got shut down for a pandemic, and I'm like, what is this? There's free time? So much free time.
Right. I'm going to shut the recording off, you guys. Sorry. I'll just go ahead and stop that.